Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Donarum.com podcast slash video thing.
This is probably our most professional one yet.
Oh, yeah, and nice haircut, by the way.
Thank you. My wife forced me to get it.
Oh, wow, that sucks. Anyway,
That's fine. I can live with it.
I've been containing this all week. By the way, we released our last podcast early just because we wanted to get it out before June 5th, a day we'll all remember. I'm going to remember it for a while at least. And
then wedding anniversary.
Then we wanted, wow.
Yeah, it was my 10th wedding anniversary on June 5th.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There needs to be a STEAM achievement for marriages. I mean, people get married online and whatnot, or from online relationships. Why can't there be an achievement for that? Anyway, I digress. But we wanted to wait until all the E3 stuff had gone through and wind down, and we had time to process it before we came back and did another podcast. Sorry. How could you?
I didn't even know that I did it.
Anyway, so let's get into this. Pokemon Sword and Shield. I've already pre-ordered.
You pre-ordered both of them, didn't you?
Yes, I got the double pack. I'm super excited for a Squabble.
Sobble.
What's his name?
Sobble.
So I keep wanting to call him Squabble. I don't know why, but
you want to fight him?
I know the legendary Pokemon are awesome. I'm pretty sure the Sword one's my favorite at the moment, even though the Shield one kind of looks like Mufasa.
Yeah, I'm pre-ordering Shield because everyone else is getting Sword, so I'm playing it smart.
Well, that'll be good because Sword's the first one I'm gonna go through for sure. What do you think? What's your favorite new feature?
So the Dynamaxing looks cool. Going back to the original format of the gyms is awesome. I'm really happy with that.
Wait, that changed?
Yeah, in Sun and Moon, they did kahunas, not really like gyms. Like they were, but they weren't. It was just weird. They tried to change it up. It looks like a lot of things are going back to normal. The biggest criticism that the internet has levied against it, that I have levied against it, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I do see where people are being affected by this, is that it will not be... the game will not support every Pokemon.
Right. I remember them saying that. And
so the first game for the Switch will not support all Pokemon.
Yet.
But, what people need to remember is this is a Switch game, patches.
Right.
People need to...
I mean, Super Smash Brothers has DLC. Surely they can patch in, being able to have all the Pokemon. I wonder if they have a plan for that. I keep wanting to theorize.
They almost have
why.
to have a plan for that.
Like, are they going to unlock other regions that you can go to? Maybe just a feature that you can go back and play a certain region from a generation that's more popular than another.
I don't know. They've always been pretty hesitant to do that. But the Dynamaxing, going back to the Dynamaxing, I just found out Mega Evolution is gone now. There will no longer be Mega Evolution. Is being replaced by Dynamaxing.
Were they something that filled up your Pokedex?
No, what it was you Mega Evolved in battle. You had to have a Mega Stone for that Pokemon.
Okay.
It had to, and that Pokemon could Mega Evolve during battle. It would go away after battle.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
So a lot like Dynamaxing, except Dynamaxing makes them bigger, and it only lasts for three turns.
Yeah. But you can find world Pokemon that are just permanently Dynamaxed.
Really?
That's the whole group aesthetic thing. You get linked up with some of your friends.
The raid battles.
Yeah, they're very much like
the Pokemon
raids.
Go raid battles. Yeah.
I didn't play a whole lot of Pokemon Go. Were there actual?
Yeah, there were raid battles. Let's see. We're in the country right now, so there's probably not one going on anywhere near here. But which, by the way, keep a look on the Facebook page. I'm actually going to, when I walk back, I'm going to take a little bit of a video so you guys can sort of get a better idea of where we.
Oh, that's a cool idea. I didn't know you were going to do that.
I'll just post it to my Instagram, my personal Instagram, and then share that to the Facebook page.
Sure.
But yeah, it's going to take forever to load. There's not going to be a raid. The closest raid I've ever found out here is the old Lock and Dam.
Really?
The new Lock and Dam. Sorry.
Okay.
So that's actually a bit closer.
Right.
Right on the edge of civilization here, actually. But Pokemon was not the only game that we have to talk about because there was an event in Los Angeles here recently.
A small one, but some
not
people
a big
know
deal.
about it.
Not a big deal.
Right.
A couple guys showed up and talked about video games.
Yeah.
There was this one guy that showed up to talk about a video game, and long-haired guy seemed like a little bit of a hippie, but everyone likes him.
Yeah.
This Keanu, am I pronounced that right? Keanu Reeves.
Some odd Hawaiian feller. I don't.
A
he was
cool
in a
breeze
movie
over a
once.
mountain. So we should probably start with Cyberpunk 2077 because that's where E3 really started. Like that's where everyone got excited. Was Cyber? I think that was during Microsoft's presentation.
Right.
Yeah. And it was literally the only good thing about Microsoft's. I just recently got an Xbox One, and I love it, actually. A lot of people hate these machines. I love it.
I don't know how you can... You were telling me about the Xbox Pass. Is that the way it's...
Game Pass, yeah.
Game Pass. I don't know how you can fault somebody for doing that level of backwards compatibility.
Oh, and it's really cool. There's over 100 games on it. I personally like it better than PS Now because PS Now streams. Whereas with Game Pass, you download it to your hard
You were talking
disk.
about that.
Yeah, your hard drive. So
that's really good for people. That would be great for people like me who only have satellite internet.
So it's great for people that. So ironically, Xbox has a feature more friendly to people in rural areas than PlayStation.
Right. Thank you.
At the birth of these systems, the biggest criticism was that Xbox was not friendly to people that lived in the country.
Right. Still Linux master race, but hey, that's pretty cool, Microsoft.
Someone who never owned an Xbox system, it's really cool. Well, I did own a 360 for a little bit, but it's really cool to go back and play these games that I missed out on. Back to E3. So we just found out that Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk 2077. Really good cover up too, because I don't think anybody really knew about that until he.
I've been following that game pretty extensively, and I had no idea that they were going to put him in that.
You got a city to burn now.
I can't wait.
It didn't make my pre-order list. We'll cover that later. It didn't.
Maybe.
It missed it a little bit. But so after Microsoft was done, the next big one was probably Square Enix, and this was the Whopper. This was the Whopper. We have a release date for the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
It's all I could think about. I bought Advent Children the other night.
Really? You did?
Yep, I bought Advent Children. Bought it, not streamed it. I bought it to watch it. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII again on my phone just so it's fresh on my mind when I play the remake.
Advent Children's been forever ago. I remember when Cody bought that. That was in high school. Cody, if you're out there, do you still have your copy? Might want to borrow it.
Which one?
Advent Children.
Oh, Advent Children. Yeah, it was it would have been at the twilight of your guys' high school. It was 2006.
Yeah. I remember the box art and everything. And at first I thought it was a game, and then it was just a movie.
Yeah, it was Tetsuya Nomura. Probably his first. I think it's his first and only film directing credit. And so 2006 was kind of a big year for him because he had that and Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
And then this year he has Kingdom Hearts 3, the Final Fantasy VII remake. He's just he's killing it this year. Yeah. Well, I mean the Final Fantasy VII remake won't be out till next year, but we're all hyped about it this year. I've already had too many. I'm hiccuping.
Oh no.
Ain't nowhere near. But so yeah, we got that at Square Enix. Was it Nintendo or Square Enix that confirmed Dragon Quest 11S?
Oh, that would be Nintendo.
That they didn't confirm that till Nintendo. Square Enix didn't cover that in their presentation.
I don't remember. I don't think they did, because anytime the Twitter was lighting up with Dragon Age stuff was
Dragon Quest.
Sorry, Dragon Quest. Anytime it was lighting up with that, that's when I saw Twitter blow up with trailers. Like during the other talks, I don't think I saw anything about it. I think they waited for that because of the new DLC that came out for Smash.
Right, and even at the end of that, you see it says Super Smash Brothers Ultimate X Dragon Quest 11S. Echoes of an Elusive Era.
Which that's
era.
Which how are you feeling about Hero? I know personally, that was what I wanted. That was we were talking about it not long ago on another podcast. Go back and listen to that one where we were making our predictions. I don't know I think we talked about Banjo in that one, but I think we were both really one of them that we really wanted was Hero.
So on both, I'm excited about both of them. I actually went on Game Pass and downloaded Banjo-Kazooie, so Braxton can play it. He's never played that. So I was excited about Banjo. The intro trailer for Banjo was just perfect.
Oh, it was hilarious.
All the Rareware gangs back together. But in the tweets from Rare, where they were like, "We were happy to work with our old friends at Nintendo." It's a really cool thing. Period.
Yeah.
But for Hero, I actually intend to play Hero intensively.
Same.
He looks fun. Dragon Quest is finally getting some love from outside its own series.
The coolest thing about that, Hero, awesome. But the fact that they brought the guy from 1, 4, and 8 back into it, we don't know if they're just going to be skins, like you hit X and it changes to another outfit or not, or if they're a whole playable mirror character.
Right, yeah. It's which I would like it either way. I will probably keep it on Dragon Quest 1 and 11. I'll probably switch between those two guys.
That sounds fair.
Yeah, but it's going to be sick. I cannot wait for that character. I intend to main them until Sora is announced, or we just lose Sora forever.
I bet Sora's coming.
So I just signed like 7 petitions this morning for Sora while I was supposed to be working.
Sora for Smash.
Yeah, I had to come in. It's a Saturday. I had to go into work, and I spent the entire time on Instagram looking at video game stuff.
I can't remember.
Hope my boss isn't listening, or I mean, listen, whatever.
And like and subscribe, Mr.
Like and subscribe.
Beau's boss. Anyway, no, the fact that they made the Banjo, and then underneath of it is Rare and the Go, gives me hope that they're going to remake some of those. Or sorry, remaster. I've been learning this terminology this week.
They did remaster a lot of them. They're on Xbox though.
For Switch. I don't have an Xbox. I need it on Switch.
Switch and Microsoft have a wonderful partnership.
They do. Do you ever watch any of the people that remake some of those Nintendo 64 games in the Unreal 4 engine?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Ocarina of Time one looks gorgeous.
Oh, I always watch it.
But in fact, Microsoft, their biggest game period is on all major platforms. Minecraft. Yeah. It's their biggest game far and away. Because Notch sold, which is good because we're still allowed to like it, because people don't really like Notch anymore. Yeah. And it's not really something you could blame them for not liking them for.
It's the old quandary of, can you like the music and not the artist?
Which, of course, we still love Minecraft.
Right.
But
it's fun.
My son's my son plays it extensively.
Right.
And my other kid's a daughter.
Yeah.
But it's been a few Michelob Ultras this morning.
Yeah.
By the way, E3 deserves a golf beer.
They do.
It's
they
normally
really do.
Busch Light, but E3 deserves a golf beer.
They do.
So Square Enix, I believe we were also shown some more stuff from Remind, the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC. Cannot wait.
Right.
But most of this we've just been getting through other Kingdom Hearts news outlets, like the official social media pages, things like that. Play as Roxas, dual wielding Keyblades, Riku, Sora with Oathkeeper.
Yeah,
can't wait.
What other games were they announced? You had a whole list. Which, you know what? Whatever. What's your 5 pre-orders for this?
So my 5 pre-orders, and I have a justification for all this.
Okay.
My 5 pre-orders, what actually made it is, I'm going to try to do this in order of release date. I might mix them up a little bit. Link's Awakening, the remake. Okay. A huge game from my childhood.
When does that come out?
September.
That's quicker than I thought.
Yeah. And I'm pre-ordering these because there's a little... I know everyone dogs on GameStop, but GameStop actually has a cool little feature. If pre-ordering is fine if you're doing it from a trusted developer that you know is going to kill it. So what you do is you go to GameStop, you put your $5 down on the game, and then you just throw money at it as the year goes by.
Sure.
You don't notice it's gone. You get like so many games that way, and I don't know why more people don't utilize that. But Link's Awakening, the remake, and it's a remake. Can't wait. I love the art style. I think it's really reminiscent of my childhood. And that game was it was with me everywhere when I was a kid. I cannot wait to play it on the Switch. Dragon Quest 11S, 8-bit, even if not 8-bit mode, the game was just meant to be on the Switch.
It was.
It is a Switch game. Dragon Quest and Nintendo are partners. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
So Dragon Quest 11, Pokemon Shield.
Yeah.
Pokemon Shield's non-negotiable. And then, so now we're moving on to the 2020 games. Final Fantasy VII Remake, that was non-negotiable.
Right.
Absolutely getting it. More on that here in a second, because I feel I need to make some defenses for people that just don't understand what's going on.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then after that, for those listening on the podcast, I gave him a really uncomfortable dad stare because he doesn't have any idea what's going on with it.
I'm sorry.
So, what? So, and then the last one will be Animal Crossing. I can't not get Animal Crossing.
Did you hear the big news? I posted it last night, but I don't know if you saw it. The mole construction worker.
Oh, Mr. Rossetti, he's out of a job.
He not only just lost a job, but he lost his job due to automation.
Oh, yeah.
The autosave feature that's going to be in the Switch, so he's no longer needed to go to and save your game.
Andrew Yang fans, or Andrew Yang, if you're listening, we would like to have you on the podcast to talk about.
I'm not kidding. They retweeted us.
Well, like an official Yang?
Some Yang tweet account that has an absolute buttload of followers and whatnot retweeted that.
We've got to get on the ball. We're getting some retweets from some people. We need to get on the ball and actually keep up with this.
It was neat. And then Don had to explain to me his position on AI and automation and everything and basic income and things.
His very interesting positions, Mr. Yang. So if you would like to be on the podcast and explain how automation is affecting the lives of video game characters, imagine if Samus's suit could move on its own.
Oh my God.
What would she do?
What would she do? Samus would be out of a job.
Imagine... what if you just went to a kiosk and healed your Pokemon? What would Nurse Joy do?
Right. Would you need the rogue leaders if the X-Wings could just fly themselves?
Oh, my God.
Red leaders, sorry. Thinking Rogue One.
Drone leader.
Oh, my God.
Drone leader. Yep. That's where the world's going.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Yang, if Mr. Rossetti deserves a universal basic income, we need you on the show to defend it.
Yeah.
Right now,
Nintendo... I don't know if you've seen all the Nintendo is treating it like they actually severed him. Like they're
Doug Bowser's got the pink slip.
Seriously, they're out there tweeting like, "We would like to thank Mr. Rossetti for his 18 years of service, and we wish him well in his future endeavors. We do hear that he's actively looking for another job, though,
and he's so angry. So this is so perfect. Like that was part of his character.
I know, right?
I used to love when he'd pop up though and not be as angry. Or his brother. Remember his brother?
I forgot all about his brother.
Remember his brother would pop up every once in a while, and he was like super meek and mild mannered, and he'd be like, "So, Mr. Rossetti, he's off right now. So, I'm Mr. Rossetti too, but I don't like to throw." It was so good. I can't wait for Animal Crossing. I hope he lives in town.
I hope so too.
I hope he lives in town, and he'll be like, "Hey, you got a couple bells,
If he doesn't have a no trespassing sign on his house, I swear to God, you walk by and he tells you to scram.
So the 3 games that I had to axe that were very hard decisions because I've got a wife and kid. I've got a wife and kids. I need to watch how many video games I play. But Star Wars Fallen Order.
That one's axed.
And the reason why don't pre-order from EA, even if it looks good. Don't do it.
It's a coin toss.
Don't give them that. Make them prove themselves. Make them. Please make them.
Yep.
2, this one was the second hardest one I had to axe, and that is Cyberpunk 2077. I'm not pre-ordering it because it's CD Projekt Red, and I know from when I bought The Witcher 3 2 years after it came out for $10 with all the DLC.
Gotcha.
So
well, and it's going to be on Steam, so inevitably it's going to have a Steam sale.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
some sort of Steam sale.
I will be buying it on Xbox One because my computer just can't keep up, and I don't foresee me getting another one.
I gotta rebuild for this.
That's my thing. Is I don't want Keanu to look bad. How can you let Keanu look bad? We absolutely know who he was. He was joking earlier.
Yeah.
It's Keanu Reeves. He's a legend.
The Matrix.
Keanu, if you want to be on the podcast and talk about your upcoming game, Cyberpunk 2077, we will plug you to our dozens of loyal followers. He'd be crazy to pass that up.
Absolutely insane.
And the last one, the hardest one to axe, was Hideo Kojima's instant classic, Death Stranding.
Oh, that one, not a lot of people know what that's even going to be about.
Because it's Kojima and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And it was very hard for me to axe that one, but I'm only axing the pre-order. I will get it.
You're
But
you're risking nightmare fuel for your kids.
that's the main reason why is I don't know when I'll play it because my kids are always around. Link's Awakening, that's cool. My
Yeah.
kids will be fighting me to play. All these games that I'm pre-ordering are good, are good, kid friendly, wholesome
Right.
games.
Right.
That will make my family stronger, I believe.
I think
in
they
the long
will.
run.
I think there'll be some good bonding. And-
Get us another subject real quick. I'm gonna wet the whistle.
Oh yeah. So, in queuing up for some keywords being thrown around, we were talking about remakes. I want to start with Link's Awakening because you made a distinction of it being a remake.
Yes.
So is it not following the story of the old one?
No, it should be following pretty well beat for beat the story of the old one. It might even be the same zones and everything, but they've completely none of the old assets were used.
Right.
They're completely remaking this game from the ground up.
Right.
New engine and everything.
Right. But is the story new?
The story in Zelda games back then was pretty bare. I imagine there'll be more
the
dialogue.
levels that they show off, could you find that in the original version?
Not perfectly. No.
Okay.
So they are. It's a completely new experience, not as new of an experience as the Final Fantasy VII remake will be, which I
Sure.
feel like you still need a lot of explaining on what's going on there.
Sure.
But so remakes or remasters are kind of weird. Final Fantasy VIII, by the way, is getting a remaster. If you've never played Final Fantasy VIII, please buy that remaster. It's a beautiful game that was much undeservedly maligned.
I've never played it. Don actually has never played a Final Fantasy game. He started 3 last night because it's on the Super Nintendo. And
that would actually be Final Fantasy VI. It was only called 3 in North America.
it said 3 on the Super Nintendo.
Because they only released 2 Final Fantasies North. So in North America, we got Final Fantasy the original.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went straight to 4, so we called it 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went straight to 3, so we called it. We went straight to 6, so we called it 3.
I forgot. Before we get into this can maybe segue into Final Fantasy, but we're getting Tales of Mana for the Switch here soon, which
Secret of Mana, which I think they're calling it Collection of Mana.
Collection of Mana. That's right. In there, it also has Final Fantasy Adventures, and I didn't know what. I don't think I've asked you this. What do you think about that game?
Perfectly fun. I can't wait to see how they're doing it on the collection. The Final Fantasy side games used to be very weird because they weren't even RPGs.
Also, it's not even a full
RPGs.
game.
It is, but it's not like
It's not traditional Final Fantasy.
right.
Gotcha. You said side game, so it made me think Pokemon Go to Pokemon Core RPG.
Oh no
type of stuff.
So E3 was kind of a lot of the criticism levied at Square Enix was that and Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the criticism they got is these are just games we've had before that are coming out again. But what people don't realize when they remake these games or remaster these games, you're not the only person in the world that plays video games. There are younger generations that were discovering these games for the first time.
And they can't expect you not to re-release them, so to speak, because look how many iterations of the Lord of the Rings books they come up with, or how many of those older classic tales, the novelizations of the things like Dumbo.
How many Robin Hood movies are there?
How many Robin Hood and books and whatnot? You can't walk into a Barnes and Noble, not see like a table out there, and then there's the same story with a new book cover on it.
Right, and another thing is
that's my holdup with Final Fantasy VII, is you explained it really well, the difference between a remaster and a remake, and I definitely yield to that. I think maybe even those terms are utilized a little too loosely now when I look back at some things. But for someone who didn't have the opportunity to play Final Fantasy VII when I was growing up because I didn't have a PlayStation. Mm-hmm. The whole thought of them doing a graphical uplift on it so that I can experience that same core story is really exciting. Like, I'd really do that. That's why I was kind of sad to see, what was it? Secret of Mana. That had a remake where they just gave it better 3D graphics or whatnot on Steam, and it got like pretty poor reviews, and people are saying go back and play the SNES version.
Absolutely. On Secret of Mana, absolutely do yourself a favor and play the SNES version. There was so much charm. I actually started a Let's Play that Adam's still mad about me not finishing a long time ago. And
it was so good.
One of the things I just harped on was the beauty of 16-bit graphics, because I used to be one of those guys, graphics don't matter. I don't care about the graphics. I just want to play the game. But that's really unfair because someone poured their heart and soul in those graphics.
Sure.
What I don't like is when people see new graphics and they can't still appreciate the old because someone poured their heart and soul into those too. And you have to look at, for its time, Secret of Mana was a gorgeous game. I was looking at that when I was a kid, the way people are looking at Cyberpunk 2077 now.
Right.
Which I love it. I know it's been memed all to hell, but I love it. When he came out and said, "Walking the streets of the future, it's going to be breathtaking," and the guy goes, "You're breathtaking," and then Keanu goes, "You're breathtaking," and he had to literally ask people to stop cheering, so he could finish the speech. Just such a smart move with him, like, you know what you never hear. You never hear someone talking to, like, you never hear someone start a movie go, "Oh, Keanu Reeves is in this. Never mind. I don't like him. I don't want to watch this." Or I don't think I'd get along well with that Keanu Reeves. Like Keanu Reeves, everyone is pretty universally like, I'd love to have a beer with him.
Oh my God, he's one of those movie actors that it seems like he can't do any wrong.
Like, you know how like Sean Penn, when he talks about like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, he's like, like Keanu would probably sit and talk to you forever about Bill and Ted. Like, he's just so cool. He's coming back to do another one. And I actually,
I didn't realize
I didn't like the idea of Bill and Ted 3. I didn't like the idea of it. I was like, that's kind of cheesy and stupid till I found out what it's about. You know how like the first two movies, the whole point is they're going to write the song that saves civilization. It's been 30 years and they still haven't. That's perfect.
Wow.
That is so good.
Yeah, really.
Like, that is perfect. So, but back to video games. It's just so hard because the lines are being blurred between entertainment now. Like, we have, and this isn't Liam Neeson in Fallout 3, where they gave him the huge check and he just unenthusiastically spit a few lines on a mic and went home. Like, Keanu is promoting this game. Like, he was at E3. He was giddy. He was having a good time. Like, so, and I think is it unprofessional to holler at Don and ask him a question real quick?
No.
Hey, Don. It was Martin Sheen as the elusive man, right? Martin Sheen did Don's in the other room doing he's working on some great stuff for you guys right now in the other room. Who knows who's coming and going from the Donoram house, you know?
No. Oh my God.
Hey, if this door is if this house is playing video games, you come on in.
Really.
Play some video games. But he said in interviews, the elusive man, Martin Sheen, he said in interviews like, "Oh, I thought he was a really interesting character." But the enthusiasm that Keanu's bringing to this, I don't think we've ever seen before in a Hollywood actor being paid to do a video game.
No, not at all.
And CD Projekt Red, I believe, is a Polish company too. So this is an international affair at this point.
They use a K instead of a C, I think, in one of their
project. They also still use the term CD. So a bit dated technology. And the stuff we saw about Death Stranding, by the way, was incredible. It's
a pretty game.
I have to wait until I have more time off work to where I could stay up late to play it. Because there's people carrying around babies and like things.
There's the weird little flicker thing going on.
It's pure Kojima madness, and I can't wait to experience it. So Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is a new vision for the game. This is a brand new game based on a game.
But still the same core story.
The same core story we're being told. There's several things up in the air. Like they said, they're changing a few things. Like, for all we know, Aerith lives in this one. Aerith or Aerith, depending on what you're... Cloud might actually... There might actually be a distinct love story in this one. He might... Because the first one, there was a very ambiguous love triangle between Tifa, Cloud, and Aerith. So...
The way I was trying to think about it in my head the other day, after we had our heated debate.
God, we fought like...
this was a long phone call. The best way I could think about it is that the original Final Fantasy was the original Final Fantasy VII was the movie of Final Fantasy VII, and this is the novelization.
More accurate, I think. Even more accurate to that is Final Fantasy VII was the movie that came out in the 50s. Final Fantasy VII Remake is the movie they're making now based on it.
Okay.
Final Fantasy VII, the original, was the Lord of the Rings animated movie from the 70s.
Was that only one? One
yes,
movie?
they only covered Fellowship and parts of the Two Towers.
Interesting. So they didn't even finish that one out.
No, it didn't do commercially very well.
Oh, crazy.
Final Fantasy VII is the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies.
Okay. It's up by the same guy.
Roughly, Tetsuya Nomura was not the lead director of the original Final Fantasy VII. He was character designer, and he consulted on the story.
Right. Okay.
So he is the guy in this one.
Right.
Character designer, story, as involved as he is in Kingdom Hearts, which is an absurd level for one human being. That is how involved he is with the Final Fantasy VII remake, and it's just going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know how people are looking at Aerith in that first movie. Like, just how real that person looks. And being absolutely... Yeah. I am so...
Can you imagine playing that on your 4K TV? You're going to be so happy. What happens if this comes out with a PS5 bundle?
That's another thing is we're in the twilight year of the PS4 when this comes out. So people are like, what if... Well, I guess I'm going to have to buy a PS5 to play the rest. You're going to buy a PS5 anyway.
Well, and inevitably it'll be on PS4.
I mean, it's just you're going to buy the new systems anyway. So what are you complaining about? We did the same thing with Persona 5. Everyone was like, "It's not going to come out in time to be on the PlayStation 3," which I still believe they released a version on the PlayStation 3.
Probably,
I still believe they did. But we all owned PlayStation 4s by the time it came out. I owned a PlayStation 4 by the time this game finally came out. It's not a big deal, guys. Like, just you're going to buy these new systems anyway. I don't know what you're griping about. So. It will be a PlayStation exclusive, a PlayStation 4 exclusive. There is not an Xbox version, which Square Enix is really weird about what gets a PlayStation exclusive, what gets an Xbox version as well. They're really weird about that.
Well, some years will go by and they'll release it on probably a Steam version of it, because they did that with Final Fantasy VII. They had a PC version of that.
Yeah, and there was no PC version of Final Fantasy 15 at first. Until a couple of years later, when they did the Royal Edition, they released that.
And not only that, but they did that cartoony one for the Switch, didn't they?
Oh, A King's Tale?
It was Final Fantasy 15.
A King's Tale?
But it looked just like the
Pocket
other.
Edition.
Yes,
Pocket Edition,
yes.
yeah. Pocket Edition came out for every major thing.
Gotcha.
You get Pocket Edition on your phone.
Really?
Yep.
Crazy. It's got to be a big game for your phone.
Yeah, it's episodic, too.
Oh, gotcha.
So I believe you buy it by chapter.
Right.
So who won E3 for you? Who won it? What company?
Nintendo.
Nintendo indisputably won E3. I happen to believe they always are one of the top contenders because they don't make E3 a place to shock people. They announce before E3 and then they reiterate and elaborate during E3.
I'm surprised to hear you say that, because you were on Facebook saying Square.
Listen to this guy. You've been too talking. Nintendo objectively won. For me, Square Enix.
Gotcha.
I mean, Square Enix for me personally was, and I posted that immediately after Square Enix's presentation. Yeah. Nintendo's hadn't happened yet. Yeah. Adam has trouble understanding hyperbole and emotion.
That's why I do a lot of the administrative work and leave the art to the artists.
He is the boss. He was mad at me for being late today.
Oh, terribly late.
But you've censored me a few times.
Yes. We got to keep you in line. You're a loose cannon.
What if a 10-year-old's listening to the show, you know?
Who knows?
What happens?
Who knows?
But we're... so
2019 is a big year.
2019 and 2020 is already shaping up. They've already got 2020 covered. If the only video games that come out in all of 2020 are what they've already told us we're getting, I'm good.
And the sequel to Breath of the Wild
is in development. Yes, that's a huge one we didn't cover. We have a trailer.
I don't know if it's coming out in 2020.
We don't know when it's coming out, but that's a huge one. And an anomaly in the, not a complete anomaly, but kind of an anomaly in the Zelda series, and that it is a direct sequel.
Yeah, it is absolutely. The events of Breath of the Wild
lead directly into this. And another thing that's up in the air, this was up in the air during Breath of the Wild's development, but we don't know for sure in this one either, is Zelda going to be a playable character?
That would be neat. Has that ever happened?
Yes, on the CDI Zelda games. Legendarily terrible video games that Nintendo licensed to this company to make.
Thinking of that, are you going to try Cadence?
I might try Cadence of Hyrule. I never played Crypt of the Necrodancer. I have no rhythm. I have none, so it'll be difficult. In fact, when I do Atlantica and Kingdom Hearts 2, my wife, who has tons of rhythm, she's a beautiful dancer, she has to sit next to me and tell me when to hit the button. Like, she has to say, now, even on Atlantica. Parappa the Rapper is a very hard game for me. And Guitar Hero, though, was different.
Right.
I guess there's just more accurate things on the screen, more accurate, like, tangible things I could do.
It's giving you a lot of information to help you.
But, I mean, I wasn't great at it. I have trouble once you put the difficulty over medium.
The only thing I missed from Nintendo's presentation was I wish I could have heard something about anything about Metroid 4. Or
Metroid Prime 4, they should have given us something.
I would have settled for a release date of the trilogy, unless it's out there. I
would have settled for them saying, hey, we're still working on it.
Yeah.
I would have settled for that. Just remind me that it's out there and that you're still doing something about it.
I would have. That would have been great. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Man.
It was a great E3. It was a great. And,
it was.
I know we only talked about Microsoft, Square Enix, and Nintendo, but that's literally all there was.
Nothing else was really. I
still don't know what they said at Capcom. I still don't know.
It didn't matter.
Nothing is I mean, I follow all this stuff, and no one else has said it was.
I thought that was Cloud holding Pikachu for a minute.
Nope, that is Sora holding a Pow Pow fruit.
It looked like a small Pichu, which needs to be done. Somebody out there render Cloud holding a Pichu.
It's a Smash Brothers thing. So. 2 new characters for Smash, which look awesome. We get Banjo-Kazooie in the fall, which I'm actually kind of mad about that, because at that E3 where they announced announced Ryu, and for Smash 4 when they announced Ryu, and I believe someone, I can't remember who Ryu and Roy, I think, when they announced them, they were out that day.
That's
Reggie just came up and said, "Hey, we're doing these characters." This was like what, 2015?
Reggie's not there anymore, so I guess we can't expect it. Yeah.
Doug?
He's Douglas.
You know what, Doug? If you want on the podcast,
right?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
You get the turnaround of this DLC to move a bit quicker.
We would accept you coming.
Absolutely. If Doug Bowser wanted to be here, absolutely. Bring Miyamoto.
Yeah.
Miyamoto-san.
At least a signed picture.
At least a signed picture.
I'll put right there on the wall.
Right there on the wall. Yeah. Oh, and then when your dad's buddies come over, they'd be like, you got something on the wall.
I put it right next to my signed copy of Bob Knight's picture.
I forgot you had that.
Ew. Tonaron would like to thank Beau Weber for being part of the community.
This is where I'm sitting right now. Oh, it's disgusting.
That's
why this beer tastes
at least the team you like is an Indiana team.
Barely.
They're up there.
I'm a Notre Dame guy.
They're getting
in
cold.
Basketball and football.
They're definitely getting cold.
But by the way, congratulations to the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
That's Canada's first NBA title.
Yeah.
So congratulations. We got Smash DLC. We got the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Finally has a release date. The game was announced in 2015.
Yeah.
So 4 years that we just... Oh, I haven't had a chance to rail your ass about...
They had a hiccup there for a little bit.
Right. Nomura had to do Kingdom Hearts 3. But
no, it wasn't that. But they also had a problem in the early development of Final Fantasy VII, where someone that was doing some of their external artwork and sending it in wasn't living up to the standards.
Right. I do remember that.
And then they had to go back and redo a bunch of stuff.
Thank God for game companies that aren't afraid to delay a game to make sure it's great.
Right. They're listening to Nintendo's Miyamoto.
Miyamoto said a delayed game can be good.
Right.
A rushed game never is.
Right. Now, what were you wanting to rail about?
So the Final Fantasy... no, we did cover that.
Yeah, we did.
Final Fantasy VII.
We did.
But,
we're just so excited about everything that's coming out.
Finally getting the Final Fantasy VII Remake in my hands, even if it's just the first thing of Midgar, because Midgar is a story arc. It is a complete story.
There you go.
The only thing left in the air at the end is where is Sephiroth going, which that could be Frodo and Sam looking out and Frodo saying, "I'm glad you're with me, Sam."
Yeah.
That could be, the end of Empire Strikes Back where Luke and Leia and
Yeah.
the droids are looking out amongst the
Yep.
stars. It's they can handle this so beautifully. One thing I haven't been able to confirm or not is if it's an open world Midgar, the way that Final Fantasy 15 was open world.
Because I'm
if
hoping
so,
it's.
oh my god!
I'm hoping it's open world. Well, I could see it being cool either way, but they'd have to do it right either way.
Well, 15 was open world, but you had to get access to certain areas. Like there'd be a fence or something.
Dragon Quest
11 was open world, but right.
I mean,
yeah,
it's big. You can walk around a lot of places, see a lot of the world living, but to classify it as open world's almost a stretch.
Right.
It's still very linear in where it wants you to go.
Right, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
But the idea of just being able to explore all these nooks and crannies, I can't wait to see what they're adding into it, because Avalanche could have done so much between the explosion of reactor number 1 and the raid of Shinra Tower. There could have been so many things, and it looks like Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge are going to become major playing characters.
Yeah.
In fact,
are there any books?
Like novels? Like novels? No.
Well, they do that, for WoW and Star Wars and stuff. I didn't know if they did that for Final Fantasy stuff.
Not really.
That's actually really interesting that they don't.
I would love to start seeing them doing it for Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
I would love for them to start doing the. By the way, Shadowbringers. Shadowbringers comes out in July. I'm not currently subscribed to Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, it's the expansion. That's right.
We get the Hrothgar race, which is a lion men, and we get the Viera, the bunny women. That's gonna run through the internet. Square Enix is about to make so much money off Fantasia bottles.
Yeah, that's
an item that lets you change your character's race in case you didn't know. And Gunbusters, the Gunblade class, it's going to be a tank.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 14 hasn't had a tank added to it since vanilla.
Yeah.
And isn't it weird that Blizzard has no presence at E3?
They do their own BlizzCon.
Absolutely, but
I get it that Nintendo also does their directs, but Nintendo directs are 15 minutes long, and they're only at specific 4 or 5 times a year,
right?
Something like that. BlizzCon is the whole 3-day thing
with rumors of Overwatch 2 on the horizon. And Overwatch, let's face it, it's a console casual game.
They just don't want to go to their house on Friday nights, man. That's just what it is. That's all it is.
Honestly, this E3. I'm going to go on record as saying this. There's probably a couple of the boys at work. They're going to be very disappointed in me saying this, but I don't care about Classic anymore.
Oh, I literally was just thinking that in my head.
I don't care anymore.
We were running along, so I was not really going to bring this one up just yet. But
it's fine. It'll be a long episode.
This has totally made me forget about Classic.
I actually just started ESO a couple of days ago, and
get it out now. You're not going to want to play it.
That's what I mean.
In the latter half of this year.
I'm getting at. So when these games start coming out, I'm good. I don't want to play WoW Classic, especially WoW Classic, because then you'll have no time for anything else.
No. Pokemon. Got a lot of new ones.
I'm not going to skip Pokemon for WoW. No. That's not going to happen. And I don't think, for listeners that don't understand the gravity of that, I love Warcraft.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote, if I could toot my own horn, I wrote kind of a beautiful piece about it in the Donoran book, by the way.
Oh, that's coming out soon. That is coming out soon.
We each wrote a book about...
we each wrote sections.
Yes, we didn't each write a book.
That'd be cool.
Don could have wrote his own book, and it would have been amazing. Yeah. And I would highly suggest that anyone buy one that he writes himself.
But yeah, stay tuned for that. We will be... we'll do a commercial or something.
Who made the... who thought of the title for the book, by the way? Was that Don?
That was Don.
Yeah,
we were playing some games the other night, and I was thinking our original title. I was like, people are going to search for that, and they're going to find videos and whatnot. And he just spurted that out because he's Don and he's a genius.
Right. He actually makes his money being a writer. So
yes, he does.
So, but no, we E3 has absolutely killed WoW Classic for me. I don't care. I absolutely don't. And WoW even live. I mean, you could War Chief all day long, buddy. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah.
Now, if a Warcraft 4 would come out or something, it might push me back over there.
I don't know.
But yeah, they got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of stuff to live up to now after the C3.
So yeah, Reforged is not as big a deal to me.
No.
Nope.
No.
Warcraft
I mean,
3
that's a
Reforged.
one-day thing, but it's hardly going to be anything that I want to talk about.
Right. We probably won't. But so sorry, we're probably not going to do a Warcraft 3 Reforged show.
Yeah, likely
We're
not.
probably not.
Not in the near future, at least.
I can imagine people furiously hitting unsubscribe.
Yeah, forget it.
Please don't.
For
Please
the
don't.
Horde. Anyway, it's been fun.
This has been real fun.